Hello, 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 and welcome to the Cult Classic podcast. It's your girl, Neek, here, joined by,
I'm Karma. Hey, what's up?
hey, Karma, and we are here for the first episode of the Cult Classic podcast. So, this is exciting, friend. Welcome.
Yes.
Yes,
Super fun and exciting. Been thinking about doing a podcast for a while
yeah,
and
absolutely.
trying to, come up with some ideas. And we thought, and it's like, we like movies, we like cult classics, as you say.
Yeah,
So,
we
yeah.
definitely do. And that was definitely the reason for coming up and talking about all the different cult classics and whatever you determine them to be or whatever we determine them to be. So, I mean, for some people, cult classics could mean something like a movie or a book, but we feel like cult classics can be pretty much anything, popular in culture. So I'm excited today to say that our first episode is going to be about classic movies.
All right. Everybody's got their own definition of what their classic film or classic movie is, or maybe it's the movie that got them into watching movies. Because I've met people who don't watch movies, which is kind of weird, but
I know a few of those people too.
yeah,
Yeah, they're weird.
they're weird. They're weird. Like it's great that it's become for a lot of people it's become a norm to go out and see a film. Like it's so great.
Agreed. Yeah, I feel like since I was little, I've always been a cinephile. Like I don't growing up where we grew up, some of the only times where like when you're just walking down the street and you would see a guy on the street selling DVDs or
Yeah.
selling movies that you could buy. Like I was a cinephile from my grandma picking up every single movie that came out on those little DVDs, and I used to just watch them religiously. So I feel like so many people have had like that same experience. So I'm excited to get to talk about some cool movies today.
Yeah, like same here, but my parents were always into like all different types of films, from gangster flicks to dramas to action adventure stuff to B B level superhero movies. So there was always
Mm,
film in the house.
Blank
So
Man.
yeah, and then like
It's-
I moved around so much that like, well, not so much, but I moved around a good amount that like my aunt got me into like she had the VHSs of like the original Star Wars and Indiana Jones and all that. So
That yes, that sounds like an awesome experience. My mom was very much the same. She was always at home and addicted to watching either Lifetime movies or always horror movies. So we had movie night at least once a week where we were watching whatever came out. And those are like honestly some of the highlights from when I was a kid.
yeah, it's always a great one.
Yeah,
Like
that
yeah,
that's really exciting. Um, Yeah, so what movies or what things do you consider a classic? What makes something classic in your rule book?
I would say one has to be for me something that turns into a classic has to be from a particular period. Like it can't be from like 2 years ago. I don't think
Mm,
that classics can be made in 2 years. Like I
okay.
feel like films that have aged that not all of them have aged well, but uh,
And
ha-
the test of time,
yeah,
you
they
know?
stand the test of time. Movies that you honestly could throw on at any point or bring to a movie night, and people would be like, "Yeah, that was fun. That was cool. I like that." You know,
Yeah.
or something that if you're sitting with somebody and let's say it's movie night and it's your turn to pick the movie, it's a movie that you feel everybody can get behind, or you think that it's a movie that maybe has a secret meaning to you and your friends, like the particular friends you have.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely. Something that invokes a certain feeling, whether it's nostalgia, whether it's excitement, from like the first time you see in Jurassic Park or Jaws or something like that. It,
Right.
it has to give you those same feelings, no matter when you watch it.
Right. I feel like it's not to be confused with a modern classic, where it's just something that feels like it's older than it actually is. But
Oh, that's
yeah,
an interesting perspective. So, I guess something that would be considered a modern classic is something that kind of came out recently, but you watch it and you feel the way that you do the first time you saw one of those classic movies. You instantly know this is going to be a classic. No
right.
matter when it came out.
And I always think that about Wes Anderson films. So The French Dispatch, absolutely modern classic. Like the way Wes
Okay.
Anderson tells a story is amazing. And if you get the chance, go out see The French Dispatch. It's great. Or if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's really good. I'm not
I
gonna
haven't
spoil
seen it
anything.
yet, but I haven't seen it yet, but you have highly recommended it, so I definitely plan on
Yes.
seeing it.
Like I like how Wes Anderson tells a story. If you've ever seen Fantastic Mr. Fox, like, ugh, my man, it's it's great. And how also like George Clooney in that film turns Mr. Fox into a character, and everybody works
Mhm.
on stop motion stuff. Like I feel like it's amazing, and they put so much time and effort into every little detail. So
Yeah, you're so right. Like what makes a movie a classic is more than just it's the actors, it's the story, it's the director, it's so
hmm
many things that go into it to make it like that perfect film. I feel like Fantastic Mr. Fox was a really great example of when voice acting plus a supreme director come together and just make an awesome movie.
right, right.
Instant classic. Agreed.
I think I've got another one, but this one is close to my heart because I've seen this movie about 8 million times, and I I feel like everybody has seen this film. But Jurassic Park,
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
I've seen Jurassic Park so many times that I could literally sit there and speak the entire film. Like when it
Yeah.
came out, they did a rescreening of it at a theater downtown one year, and I went to go see it, and it was great. Like I was just so like I was sitting there mouthing the words to it and everything, and when when the boy fucking gets electrocuted off the fence, it falls off it, and but he's not perfectly fine, but he's just he's done for. It's great. The wonderful gif of what is it? I think it's Alan when he's on top of this Triceratops. Like
Mm-hmm.
or Dr. Grant. All right. So
Oh yes, Dr. Grant. I mean, listen, Jurassic Park was so fire. I think it was. Well, I don't know if it was everyone's introduction to Jeff Goldblum, but it was mine. And
I feel like either that or The Fly. Like
oh, The Fly. No,
yeah.
you're so right. You're so right. I feel like the characters that he played in both those movies were so different.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Jurassic Park. Got to give it up for Dr. Grant. Jurassic Park was amazing.
But I would say yeah, those are definitely like a film like that is a cult classic for me. Something that I could be like, oh, I could watch. Jurassic Park can hold up now, and it's perfectly fine. Like
Yeah, yeah. I feel like yeah, I feel the exact same way. And when movies are so like iconic like that, it's weird. I don't know. Sometimes when there's a remake made, like recently, there's so many Jurassic Park movies that came out in like the last few years, but I don't know. That movie was so good. It was hard to make a bad remake. I don't know. Those were good too.
that is true.
Yeah.
I feel like the sorry, chewing on something. I feel like the remake, like them with what is it with Chris Pratt as the lead now, and I feel like they keep leaning to this world. It's like that. Okay, We keep making dinosaurs. We keep creating them, putting them on islands, and letting them live. But people just keep coming and trying to steal dinosaurs to have them in their armies and all this crazy shit. Why do we keep doing this? Because it never ends well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like there
It
should
never
never
ends
be a
well.
villain anymore that's like, yes, I need a dinosaur to have an assault rifle and go into battle. Like, what? No, no. That,
No, like what? No, yeah, I agree 100%. Or like the same, also like the let's go to the dinosaur zoo. What?
right.
I'm
And
not doing that actually. But I mean, but to be honest,
I'll watch it
I
on
feel like
TV.
yeah, exactly. No, exactly. And I feel like just the concept of those movies are so ridiculous, and the way that the visuals, the way this film looks so good, I
Because
kind of forgive them for it not being
it
the perfect remake.
came out in 93, I believe. So, like, the 90s. Like, I feel like at some point. Oops, that's not the right one. I feel like at some point. Yep, 1993. I feel like maybe at that time they were like, well, people like going to like theme parks and stuff, but what if we had a killer theme park? It's like, well, what's the attraction, boss? Dinosaurs. And then it's
Everyone's
like,
gonna want to be here.
okay, it's like I guess with the building of the multiple of Disneylands around the world, and it's an attraction, so you know and then they made the attraction at Disney World, so
Oh,
it
right, and
definitely.
Universal Studios,
Uh huh.
and they are equally as awesome. They are good.
Exactly. Like I would say that 4D Jurassic Park thing is insane. Apparently, when I was a
Yeah.
kid, when I went, I fell asleep during it, but it was like lights and everything, and I just passed out, and I was like, oh, okay. But I remember
Wow.
parts of it. And apparently, that thing is like super loud. I'm like, oh, I don't
Exactly.
remember.
I don't see how you were asleep. I definitely screamed through the whole thing, but all right. I mean, you're a tougher kid than I am.
I guess so.
Speaking of classic movies that came out like around that same time, well, actually, just speaking of cult classics in general, I know a really popular one is the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yep.
And I kind of want to discuss it because when I think cult classic, I feel like everyone has that movie on their list as a cult classic. And I'm sorry to say this, but I've never seen it.
it, okay, I think I took physical damage from that one.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, yeah.
You're going to need some health.
Yeah, I need a health potion.
Definitely. Sorry, but I just haven't seen it. I
I would
mean,
say, like, Rocky
yeah.
Horror Picture Show is definitely a cult classic. I feel like
What's the premise? Everyone's seen it, so there's no spoilers here.
it's weird because when I saw it, it wasn't. It's not like it was new. It was something. I was in the same boat, but my friend was just
Yeah.
like, "Watch it." It was like,
That movie was way before our time. Yeah.
yeah. It has Oh gosh. Ugh. Okay. So it's about this couple. I believe they just got married, and they're headed to. Yeah, this film came out in 1975, and it is a cult classic.
I mean, it's like the definition of
Right.
cult classic.
Yeah. So Brad and Janet get stuck with a flat tire during a storm and discover an eerie mansion of Dr. Frankenfurter, who is Tim Curry, a transvestite scientist. As their innocence is lost, and Janet meet a household of wild characters. So that's the synopsis, but yeah, it's pretty much that, and that brings back so much. There's a lot of dance numbers. It's a big musical,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, yeah, that's what
it
I hear. All the songs are supposedly great.
let's do the time warp again. Yeah, okay, yeah, that one's gonna get stuck in your head when you first watch it. 'Cause-
Okay.
And I don't know what to say deeper about it. Like, it's
Okay,
just one of those
yeah.
movies that I just know, go watch it, because there's two movies that I had that experience with that I will always remember: Reservoir Dogs and Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh my
And
god.
my friend was like, "Hey, we're gonna watch this tonight," and it was Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I watched it, and I was like, "Huh, this is fun. I like this. I'm okay with this, and I understand why this is a cult classic. I can see, like, I'd rather you see it and then we talk about it, because then that'd be better. I don't want to give anything too much away."
All right, well, I'll definitely watch it because I'm like a huge fan of musicals. And another one that came out that, in my opinion, is classic all-time musical. It kind of it's like a horror musical, kind of like Rocky Horror Picture Show, I guess.
Uh huh.
Is Little Shop of Horrors. Do you remember that?
I so I've never watched Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, okay. So this is the challenge. I will watch Rocky Horror Picture Show, and you will watch Little Shop of Horrors, and we'll talk about it because that movie, iconic.
Huh.
Okay,
Okay.
you're gonna love it, and I feel like all of those songs you're going to be singing, like they're gonna be stuck in your head. That movie is definitely a cult classic, and I feel like both of them are in the same genre,
Mhm.
but might be cult classics for different demographics of people, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But either way, you're going to love it. Little Shop of Horrors has Rick Moranis,
Moranis.
Moranis, and he's belting his little heart out. It, it's so cute. It's so
He's
cute. You
not
have to
singing
watch
through
it.
his Moranis.
But
Yeah, that was a bad one. That was a real bad one.
no. Yeah, yeah, maybe he is. But that, yeah, you're gonna love those Shop of Horrors. It's the same vein, but the songs, in my opinion, are a lot more catchy. Yeah,
Okay.
I listen to that soundtrack every day, like to this day. I won't say
Okay.
every day.
Okay.
That's embarrassing. But
All right.
so,
All right.
what are some other classics for you? Like in
Hmm.
your rotation when you want to do a classic movie night.
I would say Pulp Fiction.
Oh my gosh, who? Yeah, anybody I feel like could watch that right now,
Hmm.
and it'd be so good.
It's such a concise story. It's so funny. Like, it is one of Sam Jackson's premier parts. Say what again, motherfucker? Like
I just want to say Samuel L. Jackson, like
Samuel L.
Samuel L. Jackson. Oh my God, talk about the best part of the movie. Like what? A Royale with cheese? Oh,
Him and
oh,
John Travolta just
uh,
vibing about a Royale with cheese.
like me and my homies in the car talking about elaborate burgers. Yes, that's us. Like, I vibed with that scene so much. Oh my God, when yeah, that I mean, and Samuel L. Jackson had the most like iconic monologue
Hmm.
in that movie, in that scene where they're talking about the burgers and they're sitting there with the guys before they, you guys know what happened, but that monologue is also like one of the most iconic ones from a movie ever.
Hmm. He has a lot of those, honestly.
He does. He does. What an impressive man. Um, honestly, and he was in a lot of Tarantino's best films. Um,
It's
just
it,
in
it
general.
it's interesting to think that it's like he's been in so many of Tarantino's films that he's not in Kill Bill. I don't think he
Oh,
is.
he wasn't in Reservoir
And he
Dogs.
wasn't in Reservoir. Well, I feel like at the time Reservoir Dogs came out, he might not have been an option. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you're right. And Reservoir Dogs is like my all time like number one favorite movie. The first time I saw it, I was maybe like a freshman in high school, at like 13, 14 years old, and I watched it literally all night until the sun came up. I just watched it on repeat over and over and over again. That movie, the story, it just had me. That's my
Nobody
favorite.
wants to be Mr. Pink until after they see the film.
Come on, Mr. Pink. Oh my god! But the for me the best scene was
St-
uh gosh, now I can't
Stuck
remember the
in the
name of the
middle with
song.
you.
Oh my god.
Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
Yes, classic lesson. Joker's on my right, here I am. Wow. That movie
Here
was,
I
yeah,
am.
just
Uh, so many
great story.
scenes that are so well done. So
Harvey
many acting
Keitel. Oh
chops.
my goodness. Yeah, the acting was out of this world.
Like,
Fucking dying, man. Oh my god. He was fucking dying. Oh
like
my
when I
god, yes.
first saw that film, I was like, yes, this is it. This is
Oh,
definitely it.
yeah, I watched it, and I feel like for me, it was like my intro to like those gangster bank heist kind of movies, and I was hooked as soon as I was introduced to the genre through that movie.
See, I would say my introduction was a little bit different because my father he likes the Godfather films, and
Okay.
so like he started like in a sense like I would get the movies that he would I would watch the movies after he would get them, but then he didn't always get like different diverse things, but he was very succinct in his choices. So he'd always get like Clint Eastwood films that like so I've seen all the Dirty Harrys, I've seen all
Oh.
the what is it? Fistful of Dollars, The
Mhm.
Good, the Bad and the Ugly, all of them. And then so then after I'd seen all those because that's all western stuff, that's like all cowboys and real easy concepts.
Uh-huh.
He had gotten the full box set of all three Godfather films,
Okay.
and I sat down one day and just watched them straight through because I'd always seen pieces. And The Godfather is definitely a cult classic. Like that is a classic in general. That's an award-winning classic. The story of Vito, the story of, oh my god, the Corleone family, like all of it,
The
all of it.
Corleone. Yeah, agreed. That'll be an all-time classic movie. Classic, aside even outside of gangster films, just like you said, classic story, classic movie.
The Untouchables, that one's pretty good too.
Yeah, I don't think I have seen that one.
The Untouchables is good. You should check that
Okay,
out.
I will. I'm gonna put that on my list. No, I feel like we kind of are talking about a lot of the cult classics that we fell upon in our childhood,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes me think about how when I was a kid, my dad used to have this box of VHS tapes in the
Oh,
basement. Oh
nice.
my goodness. And ever so often, and it wasn't that box. I know what you guys are thinking about. And
Hmm.
it wasn't, it was the other box. And this one had Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in it. And I used to
God.
watch that movie. Oh, there were so many like classic, just like those family friendly movies like Flubber.
The
Uh,
Disney classics, yeah.
oh my goodness. I still remember that home
It's
screen.
like
Like,
the
when
it's like the 2000s era of TV for Disney turned into like they always released like a short film or something like what was that Smart House,
oh my
like
god, yeah.
the Even
Remember that?
Stevens movie, like all of
Yeah,
those
those
like Disney shows got films like
they did. I wonder Disney, yeah, the Disney Channel used to make their movies. They had a spin-off for every single show they had. Like every single one.
it's like
It
because
was
Disney knew how to print money. And they said,
yeah.
"Hey, we got these really good kid actors. Let's have them make some money."
Put them to work.
All right.
Put them to work. Poor Shia.
Oh, he made it out. You
Yeah, he's
know,
doing okay. He's doing
he
okay
didn't
now.
start getting crazy. He started doing these Transformer movies. That's when he started getting crazy.
Talk about a classic. That movie, Transformer number one. Oh my
Oh
god, when that
gosh,
came out, did you go to the movies and see that?
I did.
Oh my god, talk about a spectacle.
Bumblebee.
Oh my God. Now I don't know if I would say that the Transformers franchise is a cult classic, but I would say that movie experience at the theater,
It's
going
a,
to see that,
it is a, oh, it's a journey. Oh, it's a
it
journey.
rivaled when I went to see Black Panther. Like it rivaled that. Like
Oh, no, 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 no. You can't do that.
people were on one. Like people came dressed in full Transformers gear, masks, costumes. Like it was crazy.
Oh man, that's intense. For
Very
that,
intense.
for Michael Bay's Explosion-rama,
Exactly. People showed up and showed out.
was one of
But
them wearing an American Eagle American Eagle T-shirt?
I wouldn't be surprised if they, if they weren't, if they were.
And when I say American Eagle, I don't mean American. I mean an eagle on a red, white, and blue shirt with a red trucker hat.
Transformers, yay!
Yeah, yeah. I like me some Optimus Prime. All right,
Cars go fast.
cars go fast.
It's like that same. It's like the same fan base as Fast Five,
Oh
but
God.
they show up and they show out. Is all I'm
I
saying.
had a conversation with a friend about about Fast and Furious once. And she had such disdain for it. I was like, God damn, I didn't expect to be like, because I was telling a story that about something that happened to me in the past, and it involved the Fast Five, but it was before it was even a big series. I watched it when it was on VHS when I was a kid,
Mhm.
and like those were always like the cool kid movies. Like, it's like, oh, you gotta go see the new Fast movie. It's like, yeah, they're in Tokyo now doing cool Tokyo stuff. And it was like, yeah, and it had good music. That was one of the main things for me. Like, it had at least decently good music. And so I was like telling my friend like a story about it. She was like, yeah, you might have to stop. And I was like, why? It's like, because you like that Fast Furious shit. I was like, I find it entertaining. I don't watch them
Oh
consistently.
wow! Didn't know this about you. Interesting.
Yeah, I was like, I, I said here, and I was like, I don't like them that bad, but if they're on, I'll watch them. I think the last of I watch them because they're funny though. Shit doesn't make
Exactly. I
sense.
hear you. I hear you. I hear you. The entertainment factor. It's like the Expendables. The entertainment factor is there. Like I have
And
to see
the
these
Expendables is
explosions and fights.
nonsensical as hell.
But I'm gonna watch every single one. I'm gonna watch every
Yeah,
single one. I don't like it, but I gotta
I don't
do it.
like it, but I gotta.
I
Somebody's got
have
to
to
take this
do it.
bullet. Like, you
The
know,
Rock is in it. He's catching a helicopter in his hand. I have to watch it.
it's like they paid money to do this stunt. I might as well. Like,
Yeah, I have to watch it. I hear you. I hear you. I agree.
just throw away the entire theater.
Yep.
Oh man, I feel like it's gonna be weird when those are gonna be classics. Like back in the day, we used to watch The Expendables. It's like
Oh my
they
God,
took
that's gonna
all
be
these
like
old actors, just threw them in this role
they
to
put
blow
diapers
shit
on
up,
them
right?
and makeup, and they let them do this.
And they did all the cheesy lines they did from their actual stuff,
I'll be back.
right? Yippee
Shut up.
ki yay, motherfucker!
Oh my God, such a corny movie.
Oh
So
my gosh.
corny.
And I feel like it's funny because I know the actors are having fun with it. They have to. I can't. There's no way Bruce Willis after after a couple of those takes comes back and is like, "Yeah, that was real good, guys. I like that. We worked real hard."
Imagine making multi-million dollars every time you just repeat a line that you did in the 80s.
I
No, I would be,
wish.
yeah, I'd be living my best life as well. I'm doing
Right?
every single movie. Yeah,
Right?
of course.
You just want me
Of
to say?
course.
You want me to say what I said? 16 years ago? Got you. Bet. Easy. Like.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing
You're
it.
gonna pay me how much? Oh, that's enough. Yes, that's plenty.
Yeah, yeah. Agreed. I do the same thing.
Like I feel like it's crazy when you think about how much we invest into like celebrities and stuff, but like no one I feel like no one I know goes like overboard. They're like, oh my god, this artist is amazing, I would swear everything by them. But it's like, some people you just assume is like, oh, there's some cool peoples, like this person seems to be funny, or this person got jokes, or I could have a beer with this guy.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. It's like, it's cool
Yeah.
when you have down to earth people that are cool that know about like celebs and stuff.
Hmm.
Just a
Yeah, I
goofy
agree
thought.
with that. No, I agree, but I agree with that. Um, I feel like the movies like Expendables and Fast Five is gonna be like our generation's Die Hard. You know how everyone fell
Oh,
in love with,
Jesus.
everyone like fell in love with Bruce Willis because of those horrible movies that were. Okay, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say they were horrible.
I was about to say,
People
wait,
are
wait, wait, you don't like
people are
Die
gonna shout me.
Hard?
No, I'm not gonna say that I don't like Die Hard. It's the epitome of Impossible White Man movie. Things,
Impossible White Man
things that white people cannot do, but they are somehow pulling them off. And I didn't coin that term. Give it
Oh,
up to like other
that
tips, but
that needs to be a hashtag. Name
no, it
name your
is
favorite Impossible White Man movie.
it is a hashtag, and I
Please put
encourage
it
you to
on
use it.
Twitter. Use the hashtag.
Um, Yep, all credit will be given to the person who coined it, but agreed that it's just one of those movies, and Fast Five is that, so that'll be our generations. And an Impossible White Man movie is just a person
I've
doing
never heard
ungodly
this
things that
term.
no one will survive, like Mission Impossible. Come through.
You gonna shit on Tom Cruise now?
Tom
Like,
Cruise. No, the Impossible White Man movies are great movies. Taken was amazing, but you're not about to tell me that this 50-year-old man
is able to take down an entire sex trafficking
he's
ring.
not doing it. He can't do it. It's
Oh,
impossible. This is White Man. So they'll make it happen on screen. But and I feel like that category, the movies that we have been discussing fall in that category. And sometimes those movies are instant classics just because of the ridiculousness of them.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a funny one.
Yeah, so I feel like those are really action-focused movies. But what are some of your classic funny movies? Like, what's your top tier hilarity moment?
Half baked.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good
I
one.
would say I like I I always like goofy humor, but nothing that takes itself too seriously. Like
Okay.
Pineapple Express. It's
That
definitely.
was yeah, yeah, you can't go wrong if you have that one in your lineup.
What is it? Super bad.
Oh yeah, super bad. Yeah. No, those are definitely more recent films, but I would consider them
Hmm.
classics because of the impact that they made. Like when I was in high school, if you didn't see Superbad kind of changed the culture. You know what I mean? Like that
Right.
movie, everybody was. Oh wait, what was the name on his ID?
McLovin. Everybody was
McLovin.
McLovin.
Everybody was McLovin. Everybody was McLovin. So yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with you there.
Like that's a movie that definitely just influenced a time. Like everybody was like, "Have you seen Superbad? You got to see Superbad." Like
Yeah. And it came out the same time we were in high school, so it was like, oh, I'm just trying to get some butt. Like, wow, I
everybody's just trying to get
identify.
laid. God damn.
I identify with y'all. This is crazy. Yeah, yes, agreed.
It's like, you know what? I done some stupid shit for a girl too. I get it. I get it.
You remember that time we went to the liquor store? Like,
Right.
yeah, it was, yeah, it was very impactful for me as a movie. I loved that movie.
I think those movies are definitely like the cultural time type of movies. Like,
Hmm.
like,
Because they probably wouldn't fly nowadays. Like there was
oh
some weird,
no.
in the Me Too times of today. we that movie probably wouldn't survive. Like even in like the delicate times of today, like movies like Jackass. I mean, they are making a new
I was
one,
about to say there
but
is a new one coming out.
they were super like irreverent for their times. You know what I mean? Like nobody
Nobody was going to absurd lengths to make absurd humor.
exactly, and I feel like that's what makes them like classic movies because no one did this before and no one shall.
Okay.
You can't top it. I don't know. The Jackass movies were the top hilarity for me. Those were so funny. Um, Nacho Libre.
So I'm lukewarm on Nacho Libre.
Oh
I love
my
Jack Black.
god!
I like him in House of Rock. I like him in.
Get that corn out of my face. That doesn't make you laugh.
It did. There are parts that I was like, I'm not
It
saying
was
it's
so
bad. I'm just like
funny.
there are parts that are funny.
It was so funny. Such a harrowing story. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, like there are parts that are hilarious. I was just like, but I guess at the time I had other taste and I couldn't really appreciate it like everybody else did. I was like,
Yeah.
this is interesting. I've seen Jack Black get better though, so I was like, it's
Okay.
okay.
I could hear you. I just remember watching that movie with my mom when she was pregnant with one of my younger siblings, and she literally like almost peed her pants when he said that. When he slapped the elote out of the guy's hand, it changed our lives. So that movie will
He had a
forever be a classic in our household.
bonded experience over Nacho Libre.
Oh God, the movie was so good. Oh, hilarious.
Oh man,
Yeah. Good times. Jack Black has a lot of has a few classics to be
that's
honest.
true. That is true. Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. Whew.
What?
Oh, music tasted out the ass. Yes.
If okay, if it wasn't this late in my apartment, I would burst out the entire album from top to bottom because the way that it impacted my life, the way that I still listen to Wonder Boy and
Wonder
every
Boy.
oh my god,
Yes.
every song in the movie on a playlist in my phone right now. Top tier classic. Top tier.
Absolutely. Like
Yeah.
when you were thinking of when you talking about comedy, I immediately started thinking of a couple of a film or a trilogy that is across the pond, the Cornetto trilogy by good sir, the ones that Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, and
Oh,
The World's End.
bliss. And those are my favorite type of comedy movies, comedy horror mashups,
Oh
because those are my
yes,
two favorite genres. Like when
nice.
you could make me scared and laugh in the same movie, you got me. You got me. Shaun of the Dead. Yeah, that would definitely a classic. And I'm glad that you included some classics from over the pond because I hadn't thought about those.
Like, cause I sit here and I was like thinking, I was like, I had it in the back of my head thinking of the World's End. And you've seen that one, of course, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So, as like when I think of comedy, I always think of Simon Pegg. I don't know why. My brain just immediately defaults to Simon Pegg.
It's
And
good.
his performances in all those movies, but especially The World's End, like awesome. Just awesome. I'm really cool with that. Like stories are always good. Like they're just funny, and it's okay for them to be funny. Like it's
Mhm.
it's just great.
Yeah, he and I can't remember the name of the other English actor that's usually like his co-star or
I
co-lead,
can't give me 1 second. I'll bring it up.
but they're just like a really good duo. They they have been I think all of those movies that we named together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like a marketing thing. I don't know. They
Nick
just like
Frost.
working. Nick Frost. Okay, yeah. He is also top tier. Yeah, just a
Oh, for
great
sure. They make a
Yeah,
good duo. They're like Penn and Teller of the.
they are. But do you remember? Okay, so this is not a classic, but this is another movie that they were both in. Paul.
I think I remember that one.
What about the alien?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yeah. I remember
Yeah,
that.
that one was a flop. The other two or three are classics, but I totally forgot about that movie.
Jeez, there are some classic flops too.
Oh my goodness, that has to be an episode. We have to talk about movies that totally flopped, but y'all were tripping when they did. Y'all made a mistake. Like
Some
Ted.
flops. Okay, Ted was not a flop though.
Oh, okay, yeah, it got a part two, but nobody was raving about it.
But I mean, like it. It was a Seth Rogen film. Not Seth Rogen. Uh.
What's his name?
No,
The
no,
other
no.
one from
The,
Pineapple Express.
uh, no, Seth MacFarlane. That's who I'm thinking.
Oh, no, no, you're right. Yeah, Seth MacFarlane, but yeah.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of because he's the voice of Ted. Because
Yeah,
it's
Seth
him
MacFarlane
and
and
Matt
James
Damon
Franco. What?
in Ted.
No, it was Mark Wahlberg,
It
wasn't
was
it?
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg, not Matt Damon or James Franco.
And hey man, they after a while they all start to blend
Hey,
together.
come on now. Keep going.
Oh man. Oh. But yeah, I was say Seth MacFarlane, like him coming off of starting to did a movie while also doing like Family Guy, and then Family Guy's like it was in its like 16th season at that point, and like A Thousand Ways to Die and in the West.
Oh yeah,
That I thought was actually pretty funny. That was pretty good.
yeah. That was pretty good. What I think of, I don't know, something about um when I think of like classic comedy movies in general, this one can't. I can't get Anchorman out of my head. It just popped in. Oh, and Talladega Nights. Can we just talk about Will Ferrell real quick?
Okay, so I was about to say you're hopping onto the Will Ferrell, so we're talking about Elf
Yeah,
and
yeah. So I mean, those are some really like cult classic
so
movies.
small thing at the place I work at. So they have the kids write notes on pieces of paper and put them on the walls, and it's like
Hmm.
every Christmas me and my family watch Elf, and that is what I am thankful for. And I was like, okay, some cinephiles, just
As you should be. You should be thankful for that movie because Will Ferrell is a gift. He is. He gave us Anchorman.
I like his SNL
Old
stuff.
School. Are you kidding? Come on. He has so many classic comedy. Talladega Nights, Step Brothers. Yeah.
Step Brothers.
Um,
Oh god,
those at least Step Brothers does of the list go up in comedy history for me.
those are good ones.
Oh,
It's like it's weird that there was this big like boom of just Will Ferrell being a talent. Like everybody wanted him in a film. Like
yeah,
it's like if you're making a
yeah,
comedy, you got to get Will Ferrell, and like
yeah. He was just that
or
funny guy.
or Steve Carell, like
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a cup. Oh my god, 40-year-old version should be in the classic comedy category.
Lord.
That one is definitely good. All right, so aside from comedy movies, I feel like we have so many that we feel like are classics. What about like fantasy movies like Harry Potter and like Studio Ghibli? Let's talk about
Well,
some.
those are two big jumps. All right.
Like, I mean, they're both kind of fantasy. One is animation, one is not.
That's
But
true.
uh,
Okay,
what are
so
some fantasy things? Some fantasy classics.
I would say I don't know. Like I think Harry Potter needs at least a couple more years, in my opinion, for people like Like it's a I would say the Sorcerer's Stone is now recently in my thought process of being a classic, but I'm not that old, so
Yeah, it's
yeah.
not a. Yeah, I guess I agree with you there. It's important to our generation, but I don't know
Right.
if it's classic yet. Yeah.
Like I would say Ghibli, yes.
Oh, I mean, yeah, they've been going for forever.
Like my first introduction into Ghibli films was like Netflix used to do for any I guess Gen Zers that are out there listening to our podcast. Um, we I Netflix used to send out DVDs instead of being able to just stream it off your computer because not everybody had a computer in their homes, not yet anyway. And
Wait, hold up. Everybody wasn't alive when Netflix was still doing that. Who are these people?
hey, it's the part of the country I lived in, man. Like
What? No, no, no. I used to get the Netflix DVDs too. I thought
ah,
yeah, I thought everyone would understand that experience, but I guess you're right. My
yeah.
siblings, like,
Nowadays they
they
wouldn't know
probably,
that.
yeah, and she's on her way to college, and she would have no idea about those days.
But yeah, Netflix used to send out DVDs instead of just you being able to stream it from wherever you are. And so you would have to put all your DVDs into a queue, and then so you would the first two films would be sent to your house, and then when you sent them back, the next two would then automatically send. So you could just that's how you wow, that's how you loaded your queue back in the day.
Yep. Put it on your list. Send your DVDs back.
Right, and it would be like two
Yep.
days before you got your next films. Like,
Yep.
oh wow, oh gosh,
What what fun times! I
what
remember getting
fun
DVDs in the
times.
mail, and just my whole day would change. I got a DVD in the mail. What?
Right.
This is crazy.
So what we did in my household is my aunt got us. Oh, would she noticed that AMC did not AMC Toonami. She noticed I liked anime, and so she was like, "Well, he watches all the Dragon Ball Z stuff. I wonder if there's anything else that's not as hyperactive, super violent, you know, that could be good that for him to watch." And so she stumbled across the Studio Ghibli films. So then she got because then they did Princess Mononoke on Toonami, and I watched that, and I was like, "That's really good." And that's actually my favorite Ghibli film. And
This is
then,
Mononoke.
yeah, mm-hmm.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And she got Howl's Moving Castle, Nazca in the Valley of the Wind, Pocoroso,
Kiki's
what else?
Delivery Service.
Kiki's Delivery
That
Service,
was my
Spirited
favorite.
Away, all of them. Like she just put them on the queue, and it'd be one after another every week, like or every couple of days anyway.
You got a great aunt.
Oh yeah, she totally was. She was awesome. She is
My mom
awesome.
was very against anime. She did not understand it.
But I
She's
feel
like,
like
"What is this?"
those movies are good, like introductory in my opinion, because
I agree.
they're all nature stories at most. Like
Yeah.
they're all
Hmm.
like we should respect nature, or we should be good as a people. We shouldn't
Be
be
good. Be kind. Hmm.
right. It's kind of like the inverse of it's kind of like the same as like those movies like Fern Gully and things like that,
Oh
like where it's
yeah.
supposed to be like Disney teach a lesson type of thing, and
Right.
it's like the Studio Ghibli films are like the Japanese Disney, like you know.
But also, yeah, less preachy. You know what I
But
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, very less preachy because
and yeah,
Miyazaki, I feel like really, you know, he's like he has a message, but it's all the same message in a sense. Like, yeah, it's like be
yeah,
kind to nature and prosper and be happy, which I think is good. Like it's a good message.
yeah. Those are definitely classic. Definitely, I would consider them classic films. Yeah, they were so good, and honestly, um, I think it was actually Kiki's Delivery Service was like my first introduction to like foreign animation films.
Hmm.
So seeing those movies for the first time really sparked my love for anime. It sparked my love for animation, and it made me want to like go out and find more things like this. So I'm glad that we had access to stuff like that when we were a kid.
Right, like now, but granted, now anybody can sit down and be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna binge all the
Right.
Studio Ghibli films." Like,
Hmm.
but it used to be like difficult to go back and do that. It's like first world problems, but like it used to
Right.
be, well, like it used to be like hard to go back and be like, well, now I gotta, especially to get something from overseas, then get it subbed, like, and then find a link where it was subbed, and then to order it from some weird Amazon website, like. But when it started to become more mainstream, and like show like TV like Toonami and like 4Kids animation coming up with having like Digimon and more animated shows from from Japan on their stuff. Like people are like, well, there's a demand for this. We should get it over here. Like I
Yeah.
remember the creation of Crunchyroll. Like I was like,
Oh.
I would look at their catalog and be like, wow, this is a lot of stuff that I wish I could have had years ago.
Right, you were around when they were beta testing the app.
Right.
Yeah, those were good times. Those were good times. But I feel like we are reaching our time.
Okay, okay.
I feel like we talked about some really great classic movies. Um, we touched on we touched on so many movies that were important, like for my growth as a human and development. I don't know if people realize how much that like the media that we consume, when we're younger and the things that we're exposed to, it really kind of shapes your film taste and your uh, feelings toward being open to different types of genres in the future. So, yeah, it was good to go back and take a trip down memory lane.
Yeah, this is definitely very fun, and I can't wait till we find some other things to have definitely conversations about. Maybe we'll follow up with some new stuff, some new movies because we're going to go see Spider-Man soon. So
Oh
so
yeah.
maybe we'll do a quick review about that, and throw that up for you guys.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
I'm excited about that.
yeah, and yeah, everybody make sure to leave a comment. Hit the like button if you like it. If I believe I should be putting this up on YouTube if I get this chance, but I'm gonna try to put it up on Twitter as a sound file. Maybe see if that works better. We will see. Um, but yeah, it should be good. You can follow. I would say, don't forget to you can follow us, and my Twitter handle is at karma_goryu on Twitter. I'll put it in the description and everything, and then Neek here.
Mine is Eek. It's Neek, spelled just like my Discord handle or username.
Alrighty, actually, I can tab out and pop up to that real quick. Oh, too many clicks. Yep, Eek, it's Neek, right there. So, yeah. So, thank you guys for listening and
Yes.
checking us out.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll catch you next time.
See
All
ya.
right. See ya.